Number Tambalia, the Ningu Chabarson Tuesday, that Nagan Zomdo. And again, let's say, any Dingam Shooting Tambalia, any Ningu de Les Shubura. And in Lanzu, Ruka Milia, Zavichalia, Trumi Rukas, Ruka Tambuche. And in Lanzugi, da Jushi data, Domanian, Chibuchawala, any charging like Shukins, the Odire. Then Lanzugi, the Jushi, the title sort of.
Good afternoon to everyone, and gathering back here after tea break. And the topic, the title of our research project is Evaluation of Analytical Meditation on Emptiness and Interdependence and its Impact on Attachment.
동반년에 제공 처발을 되네 엔 차지 초된 저고 여담 세가 된 건수이다 지 저와 친구선은 아니 저와도 인스
And question for this research project is, does analytical meditation on emptiness and interdependence reduce attachment?
되는 건수 갭종 때 쉬워야나 다 건수 갭종 되날 되어 담보데 아니 남비 총날로야 도차 세당 때문세와디 동아 탐제기 자와 임바디 제당아서 원반 조다 된데 나는 뭐 무슨 여러 된주치네야 당부디 남비 총총리야 공도 코인스
background from Buddhist tradition, the resource drawn from Abhidhamma. Basically it is believed that the attachment, hatred and the ignorance are the root or the source of all the root cause of the all suffering.
되니 니바드 가르스는 아니 동반 이고 냠내라 되네 차지 아니 용도 동토서야 돼. 당한서 동반이 냠내 쳐발라 되니 지춤이 지금 남도라서면 용도 좋아다. 대 용도 좋아라 되니 아니 된데기 자식으로 라서면 용도 동토야 돼. 어디 지금
then attachment can be reduced by meditation practice on emptiness. Basically, when you do emptiness meditation, it will reduce different mental conceptual elaboration, and then through that way it reduce attachment.
되네 가르를 세와네 지정한주 가르를 겹중 대 제거를 라베나 차신길로디 유해차비 처리야 가서 강사 게르다 아니 미치소 칸리네 차신글로 춤부지 여비나 아니 간소를 강에 뭐부지 태고 여바데 간소 미통라스도 도 차기요레스.
So having attachment is a kind of disturbance to individual as well as society. We do experience lots of distortions or the distractions caused by anger and attachment.
되네 가르르스는 간수 단다디 강리야 도차 생이디 계속 차신 생이 주요비나 랑이 게르던 지도 차상래야 너버시비 용거를 생각주 주로와 딜라도 참마다 딜이야 아니 다 아니 간수만소나야 지속의 겹조 만자와 요비 대왕기 아니 차시 배난 도차 생이 딜이야 응원저도 만자와 인도 참마 딜이야 아니 삼루기야 겹조 만자와 인도 참마 간수 딜이야 아니 눕초고 나루리야 아니 도차 생이 간디 도차 생 간디 진조고유메 남비문에 도차 생이 간디 조고 디 예와니 최고야디 미유텐데 인스.
Since attachment is kind of driven force for lots of distractions on individual and societal level as well, therefore we try to come up with definition not only from the Buddhist perspective but also from Western perspective.
대변한 디나를 고야는 누초든 배나 아니 자신세와데 망쳐와데 강자 아니 게르펜주 강자바기 자발을 샤기도와 대한 수수기 아니 부투세야다 유링진에 아니 미나 네베 내유고라서 받든지 진에 유리섬다 단 제와 용게 되니 그 바로마도 시 아니 지금 강진이나 배나 펜스 아니 심용된 제와 민기 리듬도를 시라 샤기면도 대손자 대샤바인스.
So from the Western perspective of the attachment, it seems specifically refer to building some kind of a connection that connection or the some sort of relationship in a way of interacting one to another for a long period of time, and the example will be some kind of the infant and caregiver or something like that. And it seems the attachment does not from this perspective, it seems attachment is not much speaking quite temporary emotional components.
Dene nganchu nambe gi chong na sheba da de do chan du chu de ngen de ma shu me ro da de na se ba de ta yin.
And the definition of the attachment from Buddhist text is written here, and I will not elaborate much on this. An attachment is emotional state in which we view object beyond its true nature or exaggerated perspective towards object.
Dene nganchu ge ta cha gi chang gu de kan de ji shu wa ina thoma de ya nganchu de gang de ane And
for the experimental design, we have independent variable and dependent variable, which is analytical meditation, kind of independent variable, and dependent variable is decrease of attachment. So for reduction of attachment.
Oh, dene rumba nibala dusene ta ngansu ke ruka de karar sawan ruka de khase ngansu ruka de chingma de shayo marwa dene ngansu gen robe la ta ane masi ala tunju ke ane samju dene ane ngansu ke ruka de dus ni che ruka de karar sana ane tangji ruka che da ane choda ruka dus ni le ya ko be inste.
Initially, we came up with only one group, but because of suggestion from Professor Robin and Marcia, we decided, based on their recommendation, we decided to have two groups. One is a control group, and another is kind of experimental group.
Oh, deni ani nganchu ki cheshi de da sample size de karar sana ani thaba nishu ho dus chinde.
We will have the sample size of the participant will be something like 20 monks for the control group and 20 monks for the experimental group.
Dene nganchu ani pena gom gyaegi da ani yunche thabudi shashana control group de ya mixe gom gyagu yo mara de ya ani duju da ani gom de mo wa che ande ole nganchu choda ru ga de na lu ya ani kunju nyire ya ta bar ya kama chuchu gom gyagu yo che ani yunche da ta ringdo de dawa che odu sin.
And the control group will not engage any kind of meditation, but the experimental group need to do at least 10 minutes meditation on these two, analytical meditation, and the whole duration of this experimental research will be 30 days.
Dene nganchu lotsel chashana zinda de umman zida che lotsel chashana an nisang an sumju songa baru res.
And the subject that we are expecting to recruit would be in the Madhya Makka class, and also the age range is between 25 to 35.
And
the gender mostly male.
Attachment self-report. Pena chashana ngi din kha ngi do rimba ngi ba shu ba ne tes chi ko de sare them sro pena khar chashana dindi de wi susu gi ya de simbe gi na lo susu li ya dindi ji to go san be de ma to wa chi ndolo ma kha wa chi de la tin rang yi li ya ani chi gyo sim ke wa tha ani chowa ma de wa dindi shu kha chu chim bu yong do shu chen bu yong go de wes ani ding sam re do wes ani da shu che chang de do sam re shas deni ya ani ngan zu de li ya ani ngolin che tang de la ya shu chen bu de shu chung jo da dindi gi chani ya ani one
way to run this experiment is gathering or self-report. The one example maybe is the second one. The second one primarily talks about in a situation where you couldn't get something that you have been longing for, and after that we will assess some sort of emotional state in respect to that, basically asking question in that situation, I can let go of regret and feeling of dissatisfaction about the past, specifically referring to this kind of situation, and disagree strongly disagree and disagree moderately and disagree slightly, slightly disagree and agree slightly and moderately agree and strongly agree or something like this kind of, options.
Dene 가르스나 아니 당신 그 탈로 차르고데 가르스나 아니 당한주 디 니바데 버리든 데니체네 아사라 디스티사르 템스타.
And then the second is kind of push and pull, implicit attitude method.
어디 다 이야들이 안수이나 파 아니 추텐세와도 파 부세야데 대야 가른 데와는 토마 담부고 빠른 이보다 가르르세와니 니가 심전시로와 니가 심전시 아니 지디 가르르세와니 지다 윤대가 나로리아 대시 대통한다 마디와지 네거티브 된 대든지 지디 배 지도 편주 아니 젤람다 되게 예무쇼알아서부터 근데 버리 뜨인체 아니 비길이야 콘솔레들 야랭 가르테도 어디 탑시지
So basically, they show different type of pictures or different type of kind of image associated with some kind of a negative emotional component and positive emotional component, and based on that, they will assess what kind of reaction comes up from the participants.
되는 가르스나 아니 딱저 그 탈롱 차르고데 가르스나 아니 가선치당 자위찰이야 안주 아니 뮤스 비주 당알아서 버든지 탈롱 가지 삼당버려 이나야 대나라나 아니 use international effective picture system like that the sig do use to digide ani particularly sensitive tatap gelana bazu songwaina dinniga ani ratugure so this on janga jo di thalom dengi biju dangaleya beju shegi us.
And we will use these two different kind of method. Actually, it involves showing lots of pictures, and we get recommendation from our professor or mentor. Mentor that we can mentor from our mentors, saying that we will be able to use this kind of a method for running this sort of experiment.
데네 가르스는 안주 데리야 추지 긴세야 돼 어디 약으로 통스러워 데네야 안에 안주 나가 시더부지 문진 시셔 도마데 가르스는 수부 대탄 직체 니바데려야 공바버랑 시세 니체 숨바데를 고류체 시바데를 공바부 꿀롱세야 돼.
And for the confounding factor, we have come up with some kind of come up with four sort of factors, confounding factors. One is physical well-being of the participant, and then the meditator's mental disposition or the personality, and then the environmental factors, and then meditator's intention or motivation.
공부부 랑시세야 돼 가생한 정일이야 될이야 어느 도도 뭐 총송스러워 배낭한 수익이 단다디 조디 주식 가를 세와이나 배나 아니 동반년의 제공 제발라 되니 미디게 차신 충도 땅 투그레세로와 대인도 잠발이야 미 릭지 랑시고네 아니 차시 충충되는 용으로와 딘디그 제디다 배 강가리야 랜덤리 두스야 담바이나 든줄 강이지 태사레스
The discussion about meditators mental disposition. The reason why we had discussion on this is because our assessment is kind of analytical meditation, reducing attachment, and but there could be some people who naturally a little bit contented with whatever they have and not very possessive. In that sense, we thought, including this kind of, confounding factor also important.
되는 안수 아니 계치기 줘봐도 가를 세와이나 아니 안수 아니 텐조도 동이 군주기 냠밀라 때니 자신의 취지 중기요 방 문제 레버 돈이 도와고라 펜데트인도 세야도 저 가를 세와이나 당 안수 동반이의 텐조 군주기 냠밀라 때니 시아바자만 임바체 아니 탑랑 균이야 아니 텐지지 되는 투바이나 아니 제단이 추케레나 말렌자 많이 반조와미 군래야 펜데트야래야 펜도 좁도서로 디 계치기 줘봐도 샤고 하던 듯이
And for this statement of importance, if we can find a positive effect of analytical meditation on emptiness and interdependence on attachment will be beneficial everyone. So in that sense, basically what we are trying to emphasize on here is that in the literature, in the Tibetan, tradition, there's lots of, statements or the information related to reduction of the attachment by practicing interdependence and emptiness meditation. So if we able to really prove this kind of, finding through scientific investigation, then it will be not only beneficial for someone who does kind of religious belief, but also non-religious as well, non-religious people as well.
Then tamada garasena ani tindiki dunga zawa gibi chashi singa de susu gata chum tuba ina ada susu gu sem magi bala su chonggu sem lo sab che go ke yo ma gara resena ko zawa le ya nga ju nyimbu ji tuen cha ba zawa le nyimbu ji tuen ma tuba ina ani yang la du zu ju ji che de ba ina ani susu zaiwe ge sem magi ba de zawa ni ya ani me ba su yong ba sem tindiki lo sab cha ma ji de mu tu ne ga psha ga ma res.
So if you really cut the root, if you really able to suppress or the uproot the source or the source of the suffering, which is kind of attachment, then you will not need to be worried about other unpleasant mental and mental factors, because once you really target it to the root cause of it, then it will automatically prevents the generation of all this negative emotion. In that sense, just suppressing on the surface level is not sufficient, but really targeting the root cause is quite important. Last is thank you. This is pretty much. Yeah, Tiwa US and you Tiwa. Questions? Yes.
저기 강사게 다음에 다 지켜 구매하죠라. 공부보다 더 체인은 먼저 이게 배드 남사 토시를 다 먹어 체인은 그래야나스.
So Gishitabge was saying, how about if we let the participant do meditation on selflessness instead of interdependence?
대랑아 미시게 this 슈토마서 얘네 카싱은 저 로바 망쳐기다 지기 따와지 담바이나 따와나라 따와 야스 당번이 지금 담 투와이나 덴데게 따와디 시엔데니 캬도 바바이 손자 덴데게 타니야 아니 this 페누치와 용면도스 덴데진에 종소아 단다 땡교와 오마바 호와 담 가스나 랑교바 호와 담기 소 덴데 둘이 마부 총송스.
So I don't have a kind of convincing response to that, but in our discussion we came up with this sort of discussion. If we are in their discussion, what they discuss is that if we are going to use a view or the philosophical view to assess its impact on the reduction of attachment, then the ideal or the superior kind of view is emptiness and interdependence. But also we had discussed a little bit about the views of different schools like Chittamentra and Sudantika and Madhyamaka and all these things.
나 난치 나서 저기 오래 산이 나서 저기 오래 난치 나서 지나 지와 망보고 될 거래도 난치 나서 나고 지와 망보지 될 거래도 산이나 간진도 있었어
yeah. So the goal the question from him was are you guys conducting this research primarily based on some sort of a Buddhist approach or the the scientific approach? If your the background and everything is very much based on Buddhist approach, then the goal to attain this kind of to yield the result of practicing interdependence and emptiness, actually it takes generations of generations. So it's not something feasible to achieve the goal in one lifetime.
데바라가 갱이다 페지 눈zul이 시작치기서 좀 토나 하세요로시 다 눈zul은 아주 가래를 자위 시작치고서나 다 되기도 냠내 쳐발라 때니 다 된데기 자와 용사디 뭐야고 주투 될랑안수 용은 좀 못하도 주 가래를 세와에는 셰디야마도 냠내를 끄고요 말와 되게디 니리니리 냠내를 치고 또 와이나 배는 니만 주죠 니슈 숨주고질래 치는 셰디와리 냠내 쳐와이나 대수 총은 로트야디
And basically, most of the time, we discuss lots of this kind of philosophical understanding of the impacts of the impacts of practicing interdependence and emptiness of on the reduction of the attachment. But if we really bring this into our kind of practice level and integrating this and internalizing this kind of spiritual practice, it will be more beneficial than just discussing and debating in terms of yielding some sort of result on the in the mental stream.
Tanda namas gala pari chikten sa pari tinala durdang andi kashi do tati tinri pari tembala tin ani tombe nyela tin chajin nyota tongala ti tiparula ndira kandir.
So his question was that you guys have come up with some image and he was wondering what is the relation between the practice of emptiness, reducing attachment with these kind of pictures and image.
That chidan sawi chala karasana digi pari de ngazo ge mercy ge ngazo liya sawi chala choran so dindi ge pari de chidan ge ge thablam shisha chine na ro ba de par de dindi tyen thone ya pu yores o di chine ngazo sha gyu chi gi ro wa ni ne karasana chidan tachi de dugja tachi de ya karasya de karchine yong bari kenza ko tu bare di indu zama di chushi ma yin bi yela che ko yong bar wa di indu zama den de chushi ma yin bi yele che ba thela ta tongba ni le la ga chi de long de thani ga nyimbo tyen thung ge.
So basically, this image showing this, using this method is recommended by Professor Marcia. In addition to that, if we think about how these kind of attachment actually get generated at first place, get arising or mind at first place, the root cause is actually having a different, interpretation, sort of, the mental different kind of, mental interpretation and also elaborations of the different concepts, and because of that, we seems to be get a little bit, sense of attachment, yeah. That is inappropriate chiglaya the layer.
And then this talk.
Sambo.
Yes. Inappropriate chiglaya the layer. Dindi tak the digi in a menang hakum.
Kazangele tinto to thing on you chong the chongza in the and the day also tending me carson and trivia kinro carrying Gorisana. Namji Nanshin is Sheban Rochena. Ta Gawata and it chapa seshungura. Ko year Muborji Tona Koragala, Chingura. That day, Kunu in some row with it and Trivikin do Redo Maris. Chimaga and Parich, Kensantona Maga and Damaris and the Dama Chagmara. That tea in Jetata's country Chituina. Penade Gavare Shas. Parni Chositona Chicalanas, Chigaran, Rechaparan, Remaris.
The Chigmagawachi and Damaris left to Mara.
Nanchana, Jokanan, Nora Mambushua. 가와다 대파젠로
So basically, what I was thinking is that when you see any kind of image, you will get a different sense of feeling associated with it. So sometimes you get some kind of the disliking the image, a little bit mental discomfort, but that discomfort cannot be as some kind of the hatred or the anger. And also when you have some kind of pleasant or the liking sort of mental component when you see a beautiful or the tempting image, but that kind of mental component also cannot be regarded as attachment. So in that sense, how do you really draw the boundary or the
So I think part of my interest in this is that initial feeling tone, that quality that Sangpo just spoke about, is a precursor to attachment. So you like something or you don't like something, and then it evolves from there.
Ondu Shiva Nashin ji khare chagi yore sidi sambala kyona mi nanola parning jubu ji khanda par thong de sambal ane gawa da magawa se jorwa khanda semne chik magawa ji yungu yena re yan chik madewa ji yungu yema dunzu thedi ane chik chape gi ane ngundu gi nyelen so do ji da khanda ane gawa shukcham bole ndu sambala ane yan chakwa le ywa magawa le ndu sambala yan dawe gi ane yan chik ndoya jorwa odi ngundu gi nyelen so do cha du sambudus.
And there's a very quick assessment of this quality of liking and disliking, and it's associated with a physical reaction of moving away from what we dislike and moving towards what we like.
Takji din chokpo kala chen di sambala an tedan tewegi susu ga maga dan tewegi an subugi yalen de namsan dile yungu sarwa te di sambala maga sala pha bijata ya ga sar chuthen jorwa an tinde de yungu yores.
So these kinds of tasks let us assess how strong that reaction is in someone without them realizing that we're acting or asking them about their preferences at all.
Cheza da dile di sambala ane khunsu gi ane chi maga wa ina maga begi chi ngarse ma sonda khazu shukchimbu resha gawa ina gawe ngarse shukchimbu khazu resha ta die ta thugu yo res inju khunsu gi ga sa dire maga sa dire sine keja timugo ache te jorwa an dik thone ta thugu yo res.
So this is why these are called implicit attitude tests. So you're not asking someone, you're revealing that in their behavior.
Cheza dile dile ya khar lagi ore sudi sambala ane nganzo mingun begi ane shiju gi ane taktab seyaj lagi ores di khar chine re sudi sambala ane chorangi ane pigel ane di khar re sne thiwatan che ane pige nguse thubu thone lendep che jan de ke marwas ine ya ko shiju gi thone hakun chagi orwas on dik chane lagi ores
ane dangi chitiga tanda inji nola attachment singe de kase jachi haku mas nganzo nanshi nola chaje se de jachi mushi bujroya homol chabe chabala so sela chabe chaba nyela chabe chaba jingramara mombo joroya tin sene number chaje sene ani jachi mu chiksha jena chikte jachi tana chesares telepa get means gane ani ngobo cheraba bana ani chik nyele chabe chabasana yana sela chabe chabasana tin cheraba chikpa mine ani ko nyamshi chene yakwasere so top debo tunde radebo.
So Gale's question was not sure how broad in terms of the connotation of the attachment, how broad it is. He's not sure from the the definition of the attachment in English term, but in Buddhist term that is being used over there, which is the chakshin. It is a kind of quite broad, and so in that sense, he thinks that maybe it is too broad to do experiment. If you come up, because there could be attachment on clothes and on foods, and there are many different types of attachments, and the word itself is quite broad. And maybe if you guys do one specific type of attachment, maybe attachment to food, and then it could be more kind of feasible sort of approach.
Chitang tsawi chale ya gigili ditowa tanga de muni ngazol pembu churwa ani garisana ngansu danda di kasi ya docha ngodu che di mit zule ya matu che de jin no chole ya docha singi de khandi chi lungu ji chi gu me nangchu na la di ji yabjong da chi kharlo da matu che de chi re ni ba ga zna wol ngansu ma tyen de ngansu peri na la zai chi lu khu tu yo ma da ya da dun zu ri din bi khu re da gang la ya thowa de sam ba la de thowa din de chi yo ra de na la ya khora le ya su su gi de ya le ga zu ste gi do ti ya le te sa gi yu de ta de le ya ani se yin ya yong cho ro wa 세리 차베 차바 용축으로 권리 차베 차바 용축으로 대문에 당한 솔리야 다가라 상인은 용무수야 메리야 델리야 수수그 셀프 리포트 체도 삼바 아니 간수 다가라 지라발라 마밥지 제야다 다가 인스
the quote from Gilly it make lots of sense, but to avoid the confusion that might creates a little bit sort of confusion to the readers or the participants between the definition of the Western perspective and Buddhist perspective. We have come up with their own definition of attachment, and that is kind of one. And then when it comes to asking specific type of attachment, we have come up with some sort of on questionnaires, and that is specifically ask. That specifically maybe assess what kind of attachment is more prevalent for individual to individual, and we are expecting be able to sort out in this
Chavadi Jadavala Shagum, the Diva Sudukaran Duduchipe, the Sama Pe Shuchungsura, Halanazopena, Sela Chavachu Shina, Kashi and Sela Shida Yamaching, and Gueda, Tujeti Tatinzalian, Near Diletotia, Kashiam, Gueda, Tujeri Lagating, the Magai Dimuta, Dinsalamazuki, Kazan of the Diva Sudukaran in this Kalarta. Candice Tiot Tang the Koran Gasaji Mumbodi, Tadinido Tiozi, Shana Yabudol and the Tinitochi.
So basically, when we discuss about the question that to put in the survey, we have had lots of discussion about what kind of question should be written over there, and they did not specifically ask any question that associated with kind of attachment on clothes, or because someone could be more ignorant to clothes, but more kind of having stronger attachment on food, and so there could be lots of variation when it comes to temptation on particular object, because specific on specific temptation or that.
So just a clarification here. These are just two questions from an existing non-attachment scale that was developed to measure non-attachment from a Buddhist perspective.
다 차베 도쇼 마차바 조르바 딘데긴 제다 콘조고 표제 땅 산조 딘데 딘데기 펜션이 차되기 요레스 엔세리기 심준 네이서바 온디 차바다 마차바 non-attachment.
Sorry. Robin found this scale, and it's something that's being validated. They used a larger set of questions and then made it smaller to 32 questions that are most strongly associated with the concept that they were looking for.
And Chivatinde and Chungza Kanda Sumjus Yoinsar. Inju any Suzu Pigel Macha Batawa, Teda, and Jevigi, any Chivayan Sitan in Joshua, or Tenderi Chadigures.
And we may have to adjust some of the questions to make them culturally appropriate and appropriate to monastics instead of lay people.
Kesa dile de sambala tenzu trade yang anzu susu gi rishon gyabjun an yang chik tabe chuzo susu la tap tun chine yang ko tez chik juwa tangwe juju tangwe yang ane anzu che choguru was che go si che go batne yung sigres. Okay. Yeah, science ta.
Okay, we just wanted to say a few things and get ready for tomorrow.
Number the Sani Tadigi Chedo, Ani Shugoya Kashijius.
Most of us are leaving tomorrow, but we don't want to say goodbye, and so we're waiting till tomorrow morning to do that.
Ani Mancheji, in Sani Tun. Tonza, Ani Tandane, Ani Chancellor. Ani goodbye, ta Kalipesi, Adi, Lamde Mindus, and Sani Shogel, the lag, Franz Tadius.
So we will tomorrow meet here at 8:30 and do our goodbyes then.
Ani Ganzo choose jet the Chagala de two Zom and Tene and Ganzo da Shadis.
But we did want to highlight a few things right now and also just give you a roadmap of sort of the timeline of events going forward.
Chesa, that dele Sambala, that Haring Ganzo Delia, and Karsugore, Tachik. The time lamp Tatuzugi may auto than Jebitone and Nadion Kashijik and Shugu US.
This has been an amazing workshop, both of science and dialogue and conversation.
That the subject Karsugore, Ane Chicken Serita Mayimbe, Ane Tandanganzo, Ane Donenda, Ane Pazu Chick Lemu to take Nigegitone, Ane Permissive Yaguchons.
And the conversation just about that last presentation really sort of highlights the views and perspectives that you're all bringing to the science that is really going to change science.
Cheza ani danganzu thandi tamshin thamadik nanola ani dedandrevegi nabazo lenlong mangbu chungdewa di ani kharre siddhi sambala ani kharse gore Sinrigi nanola ani pegeta zug tholia ani teshi jai nare khari nare tege nanola juwa tang thuya gi danganzu thone ani shujin te jorwa an duzu the pension shadi yores.
This has also been a time of friendship and collaboration, and we really look forward to continue with you.
Ani tanda di ani kharche son siddhi sambala Panzo chigi karsugore and Zazigi and Dewa, any Tamdroya, any Yamnegi, any Dewa Shuchir and Droya, any Tandu, any number Sonyam, the Mid, any Chalet, the good use.
There's also been some fun.
Ani Tiza Maybe, Tidanyam the Yanchigi Karsugore, chop the Toa, Kiwuchonjo, that the Degi Chonsons.
And we had something really important that we wanted to remind everybody.
Ani yanjing numbers of Samala, never the Tensu Chiguagi, Kachimbuji, yes. Yes.
And that is Argentina won.
That the car is in Zambala, Poland in the day, Argentina Tavares.
You can say that being more excited.
The Toa Chimbuk and the love six that I think some of them are, supporter of the France, so they may be afterward.
So what's going to happen is tomorrow Robin will still be here, and so he's going to work very closely with you to help you transition these presentations into proposals.
Cheza ane sani ne ane game Robin de shuguyores ane game Robin ge chana sunyamdo ane chale na ne anda nganzo tamse ge semba ne ma ane treja ta khanda ni shugi jurim pa komba beto kha juye jorwa o di kan le ya tu sine namde chigres.
Your proposals are due January 10th. We're hoping that they're mostly done by the time you leave here. Maybe you realize you need to review a few papers. Maybe some sections have been written in Tibetan so people can help contribute, and you still need to translate them. But they're mostly done because we know that you're all very busy.
Cheza da dile de sambala digi ani trechagi ni shu siguna da di ani tuyun thamadi shinda thambe se chul cha digi yores chida number zo dine ma thun du de sambala mangche ji chawa so do che ra chawe so do che da dig na no la yan che gi kharso gore phui na no jurgwa do de khashi na yoba ina ani yan chik jura jora chida ne ni kyoran zo chame gi mangche di cha du guri sam gi yos karila samba kyoran samba pe lupru ya go yores ta khanda chinzo ya go shibi yores ta.
Over 50 ETSI faculty have volunteered to mentor your groups, and so Robin and I will be working with Kelsey in January to contact mentors and pair you with faculty mentors.
How many mentors? 50?
50 have.
50 half.
Yes. So 50 have volunteered. Each of your groups will pair each of your groups with 2 mentors.
Topic ETSI da emerda big team zugi ani lega chingeng na no ne ta genla phige ngap chu sik ta ding na no la ani kharsu gore kyoran sugi lamden ba chue gi ani thana dusna yu sarwa ante yu disambala number so ruka relia ani lobden ba ni dusine ani chagwesine di chigres yongdala.
And then we probably the graduate science teachers in your group will be responsible for setting a date, sometimes in February, for you to meet with those faculty. And you'll probably want to give this presentation again over Zoom as a way for them to learn about the project.
Geti kare sidi zambala ani peji chik jina shinda niba na tawali isi res ta yanjo ani kenla tanda lobden ba gen sawa jorwa kunzu nyamdo ani zongu june ani zongdu tuwa tinde chegu doas tinde chegu yo ba in songzan chik chena ani kyonan zu ge tamshi tanda chesan je de jute de yanjo chi kunzu sawa chagi yo ba in songzan ani yanjo res.
We anticipate that most of February and March, you're going to be trying things. We may have surveys that need to get translated to Tibetan and be tried out, all kinds of things. But then you'll start collecting data, hopefully by April.
Anichigi Karsugore, Peggy Chipsi Sigi or the kind of Sabita Jorwa, and the Zuti Jurgua, that the Zuti Sama, and the Chewache, Ani Chigi Tangtu Duya, the Zuti Peji, Anishin the Shivazak and Anola, and it's the Javajag.
And so one really good thing you could do tomorrow is sort of work on what you think the timeline's going to be and what you need to do before you can collect data and talk about that with Robin. So that he can just give you some perspective.
Telia Samnoshta, and the Tanto Madung ya and the Chegoya Karikari Yume, and to Zuti the Nabatsu and the Kombashi to Cherwa, and the Tine and the Anjiki Gan Robin Yorba, and the Consola and the Samsu Shugu and a shoe, Kandatsu and the Tuzu Kazin Gugu Medi, and Susu Mone and the Samustancia, Suzuki Lagat and Sambichik Chejorwa on the Gugu.
Okay, so how many groups have started working on the actual proposal?
Ani ruka nane ani tandang anzu treasure nishu gi kanlia ngu ta ga treasure nishu ngoma jora di kanlia lega nguzu sange khase US. Yeah.
Perfect.
Group third.
So that's good because that means that we can use the next 2 days because I'll be here all day tomorrow and then for the morning of the 22nd. And so my goal for the next day and a half is to work with you to write these proposals so that when you leave, you have a clear sense of direction of where things are going.
Sonyamdo, and a challenge di and the treasure nishu jorwa, on di kande chegu you may di kanlian, numbers of Sebu Jelia Kanda, that the name are turned to this umbrella, so Karichegu you may casho the Sebu Yavachita Kanda, or Tindijisu to Agireva US.
So tomorrow we'll start here at 8:30, and then we will provide you with some summary points to guide you as you move into the next stage of developing your research project.
제자다 산ing 아주 대추의 제대 체가는 좀 해체 주의 제대 체가는 좀 사회 제리야야 아니 전환조 그 가족이 남된 제약이 제도 안증님 낭되죠와 안 도저체데 마두신 아니 코트슈야다 안데 이스.
Then I think we'll break for a moment to wish Nicole and Ken and James and Marcia and others who are leaving, wish them goodbye and do a goodbye for them.
제자디 아니 디사회 제리야 아니 다 Marcia Ken 아니 Nicole 군주 yorwas andi barutere ani pardon davjiki nanola ani konzula ani pesu shuya jorwa odi kasugore peji shuya jorwa ondi chains.
And then what I'd like to do is come back here as a group, and then for you to start working on your proposals, actually turning your presentations into your actual proposal starting tomorrow after we wish our colleagues a good trip.
An the indi zambala ani number zo sanyi dechu ani pe indi zambala ani suzu rukwa nana pewache rukwa nana pene ani suzu gi tamshi cheshin jogi ani tsemba nangdun du chedi inju trecha nyishik nana chu kha jure di cheg yores ani inju di ani da khalse gore genla khonzu ani pa pe ji shuegi ani da samdin mas khalse gore da du shu sabe cheli ya ani do sine nganzo an trecha nyishu kana lega che yis.
And then what I propose is that tomorrow as you're working here I do an office hour with each group, and we can, whether if we need 30 minutes, we can take 30 minutes. If we need 15 minutes, we can take 15 minutes. And I'll go to each group with you to talk about the following things.
Ani sanyi gena korangi ani samjuji kharitungu yusedi sambala ani sanyi gi ani ring number zo suzu ruga susu liya tanda koran zo no office hours se do inju ani chokwa relia kanda kama nishu kama sumju tanguina kama sumju tanda kama chonga tanguina kama chonga tanje ruga chig dusine ani panch ne ta ruga semba samman dre jorwa adi insta inju da gen koran shamgi ani shue je o tunju te che insti liya.
First I'll give you some feedback that we took your presentation that may be helpful as you develop your project.
당부디 카르레스 디sambal라 아니 전환소기 아니 카르스고레 tamshi cheshinjo da did chaji jorwa telia ani samju lebe nyingo gi ta kanda samju te jorwa digi chane ani an choran sogi ani maumbe lecha telia yan chegi yaje ta jongu yorwa on tele che chogu yoresik.
Next what I'll do is work with you on your proposal and really help you transition the presentation to the proposal so that you feel like you're supported as you actually draft these proposals.
Chezane tine karre sidu sambala an number solia ani thanda tamshi gi sambane ani pegel trojani issue gi samba kan pha ani rojo ta khanda genla korangi ani jabjo cheya rogwa cheya ani tine ani yang choran zo gi khalsi gore ani chigi suzuki chowe thone ta khanda ani dilia chigi captain da ani da sindish yungurwa odi yawu yoy jorwa odi sotu yores.
And finally I'd like to strategize with you how to implement your project. If there's certain measures that you need to gain access to, if there's certain behavioral measures, and like for example group 7 is wanting to do cortisol and inflammation, well we can help you how to do that, or how to EEG, or how to get the self-report measures, and really strategize the implementation of your projects.
Ani tenen thamadi khari ti jema de khari chagre sidu sambala ani inju da ngansu kharse gore chorangi ani nyamshi gi tige gi nanola ani thalam khanda chetab joro adi khare khare phuje tangi yeme duzu chede ko yanchi pegel tabju ji kana pa khine ani tide sodi adres ani pena chashana ruga dumba do chashawa ina thanda di ani nganzu kodruzul ge menze da ani nyense dunzu tede khare yungu yeme shora dunzu tede lamden cheya ani yanchi khansa ge pege joba jorwa da dunzu khande chegum lagdar khande khigu do sine pa che adres.
And so tomorrow will be primarily about writing your proposals and getting you situated and set up. And then I also will be here the next morning, so for the first 2 morning sessions.
제자다 산이디 조 가르차 연구요래 시디 삼발라다 칸다 넘버 2 아니 수수기 아니 트레자 니슈 칸 레가 조울네 조라 안다디 야 쿠디 체 조라 디가나 차기요래 안디 마임베야 나니가 쇼발레야 겐쿠란데 요데르다스.
And that second, or the next morning, we can continue to work on your proposals and research if you need that help. And if you don't, what we could do is spend some time teaching you some more neuroscience methods, talk about fMRI, structural MRI, and kind of finish up that portion of the content. And we'll leave that up to you. We'll see where we're at the end of the day tomorrow and strategize that next morning.
제자다 나니가 쇼게딜 아니 야 아니 갈수그래 단다 조선 인동 칸리야 나버서 민준에 로바 고고예나 아니 양주디 칸라 샤로슈야 딘데 체체 디 마임바 임바이나 야 아니 지금 완전 세던 데베게 아니 야 갈수 유지 탈람 모두 체조라 fMRI 다 MRI 주베지 칸데 당고 예메 주단 데베게 완제 글럽센티스티야 디 치기 유스 임바이네 야 디 카르 체고 예메디 아니 다조 아니 나버솔 라레티 유스 나버솔이야 아니 완제 데마손 저런솔 유스 다 칸다 카르 체고 예메.
Okay, so please come tomorrow ready to work on your proposals, and hopefully we'll get them done for you so you can leave the workshop, go to Bodh Gaya if you're going to Bodh Gaya, and be relaxed and ready to transition to the next stuff. So. Thank you, everyone.
넘버 솔라 대쉬라 나 중문에 gelala khadash tang go sare dinza an chame cha ya go daruna she
So on the behalf of all the participants, students, we would like to say thank you so much for your coming far away from here. And so despite of the long distance and the hardship, you came here for spend your precious times. On behalf of all students, we would like to say thank you and offer a interpreting khada for you, each of you. Thank you.
He's just there.
But the actual goodbye is tomorrow morning.
Thank you so much.
Tomorrow morning.
We're going to be here.
Yes.
Take a picture while we're
Yes. Okay. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.